Hey, Chad Carter here with ChadCarter.net, and today I want to talk about Project Catalyst and Fund 5 that is basically came to a close. So voting finished up last week. They tallied the votes, and this morning they released the voting tabulation. So like who got funded and which projects didn't get funded. Okay, so what I want to do here is actually want to show, because this just came out this morning, very first thing. And I actually want to show my Senate monitor here the actual voting results. So here you can kind of see, hey, here's the votes. Like this testnet Cardano Scan Explorer got 885 million yes votes and 27.8 million no votes. And I believe this is wallets, right? So those 885 million was in 4,863 wallets versus the no votes was in 168 wallets. Okay, and so we can scroll all the way down to actually start seeing which projects were funded. And so here's that same testnet Cardano Scan Explorer, and same values there, but this had the most yes votes. Okay, and since I had the most yes votes, that is definitely get funded. So the development fund had $600,000, and out of that, this used $7,500. So we have $592,500 left, right? That's how it works. And so these are simply sorted based off the most yes votes minus no votes. So the most positive votes that are there. Okay. And so you keep scrolling down here, and we see some really cool stuff around Rust SDK. We see some things for the C# SDK with BlockFrost, and some really good stuff in Cardano JS JavaScript API. So really good things is going to help a lot of developers. Really cool. And then we get down to this next page, and lo and behold, the very first project that got enough yes votes but was over budget, not funded, would be my native token API for game devs. Okay, because I was asked for $120,000. That was 20% of the overall $600,000 budget, and all that was remaining by the time it got to me was $91,480. So it's not like they just take the $91,000 and say, here, now you're funded with that and the money's gone. No, it's an all or nothing thing. So that 120 I asked for, didn't hit it, so I'm skipped. It goes to the next one. Next one was this NFT DAO for 8,200, and so now the funds available is 8,300. It goes down. This person here is asking for 100,000, and there's only 82,000, so he's not getting it. Versus the next one was asking for 59,000, same in NFT DAO for a different piece. They're asking for that, so they're actually getting that funding for 23,000. So that's how the way it works. And so what's cool about this process is that the whole community is deciding what's most important to them and what's not important to them, right? And so you have the yes votes versus the no votes, and so that's why it's important that if you really want something funded, and you definitely would want other things not funded, that you vote no on the other stuff to push the things that you really want funded up, right? And that's what occurred here. So you have people who voted no saying, I really don't want this. In particular, like my API for game devs, 91 million say, nope, I don't like the idea. I don't think it's important for this round. I don't think Chad can do the project. Like whatever the case is, I don't want this, right? And there's enough no votes to push my listing down in the rankings, therefore it doesn't get funded, right? And so this is the process of work. This is the process actually working. So now some might say, well, I don't like the idea that the more ADA that you have, the bigger your vote is, right? Because again, we have 250 wallets who are no voting, and those 250 wallets have 91 million ADA, right? So that's a decent amount of ADA in those 250 wallets versus 1,481 wallets. So yes, we like this, right? But those 1,480 wallets is only 182 million, right? So basically half of that amount was a no in a much smaller fraction of wallets. So some people may say that's no cool. We kind of want one voice, one vote, right? One person, one vote type thing, and maybe we can get there. But as we stand right now, I actually like this approach, and it makes sense to me for where Cardano is currently. Because who are these 250 wallets who has 91 million votes? Who are they? Well, I don't know. But the point is, if it's only 250 wallets that has 91 million, they've been around for a while. I showed up in the Cardano world in March of this year, right? March, threw up a stake pool, and was like, hey, that's cool. Now I found out about this, project Catalyst in April. I was like, okay, I'm gonna submit a proposal. I was all in. Like, I just love everything about Cardano, and I just see this being the future because I like blockchain in general, and Cardano makes a whole lot of sense in the way they do things. So I was like, fantastic. But these people who have the funds, they've been here for a while, right? They were able to grab ADA when it was a penny, 5 pennies, whatever. They're really, really cheap. And so they're able to accumulate a lot. They've been in this ecosystem for a long time. They, in theory, should have a better idea of what's going to help Cardano grow in the future versus not. So right now, I think it makes more sense for their voices to be heard more than those of us who are newer, who got ADA at $1, therefore we don't have as much as somebody who bought it at 5 cents or whatever, right? That's just the way that it works right now. And I think ultimately I would like to see it where it is closer to a one person, one vote type thing, where it's more about the best ideas win. But right now, in this infancy, it makes sense to me that the voting power process is in place. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Is my project unfortunately did not get funded, but I think it's really cool to see again how the process works, and that the ideas that most people care about are the ones that are getting funded, and the ideas that not as many people care about are not getting funded, right? And again, it all comes down to, so if you're thinking about submitting your own proposal, things to keep in mind: ask for what you need. Don't be greedy. Don't ask for too much more, right? Because I wasn't being greedy here. This is really what I needed to do, because I was being extremely optimistic even. I figured this was going to take more than 8 or 9 months like I proposed here. But 8 or 9 months was the bare, that's going to be the absolute fastest I'll be able to get it done. And I needed that in order to sustain me for there, and maybe get some other things on the side as we got the big chunk of the stuff done up front. So as a result, since it's not, I'm not going to be working on this. Maybe I'll figure out a way to get it funded a different way. If you and the community care about this, and you're like, you know what, even though we couldn't get it funded through Project Catalyst, at least in Fund 5, I don't immediately see anything in Fund 6 that this would fall into, so I'm not planning on submitting a proposal for Fund 6. I'll be doing other things. Unless the community is like, no, we really do want this. If you really do want it, let me know. Shoot me an email if you're on the email list. If you're not, you can add a comment here in the YouTube video. Because if so, I'm sure I can come up with a way to do funding, whether it's staking, delegating to my stake pool, or creating some other type of way to actually get this thing funded. More of a crowdsourcing, crowdfunding thing versus the Cardano Foundation funding this based off votes. So. Yeah, I just wanted to say it's pretty awesome how this process works, and if you want this thing funded, you let me know. As it stands right now, I'm backing away. I'm assuming that this is kind of my sign that it wasn't meant to be for this time. I want it as a person, like as a gamer, I want to be able to withdraw funds from games and turn it into crypto, right, or turn it into fiat. Like, I want that, but I'm sure that's coming. Somebody's going to make this. This isn't some crazy novel idea. I had a particular way I was going to do it, and I think it was going to work out well, but I'm sure it can be done by others. Hopefully, it'll be done on the Cardano blockchain, because I think it's probably one of the best ones to handle it. So, with that said, if you are thinking about doing your own proposal, key things are this. 1, make sure that you're diligent in your proposal. Like, lay it out exactly what you're planning on doing, lay out your roadmap, why you think you can actually get it done, you and your team. Do presentations, be involved in the community. So there was an Idea Fest that they held a few Saturdays back. Project Swarm kind of was working on that, and Project Catalyst and Swarm. And being a part of that was pretty awesome. They opened it up to 100 proposers, and I think like 50 or so jumped on that opportunity. I was one of those. And it's just able to kind of put out there, hey, this is what I'm proposing and why I think I can actually do this thing. So be a part of the community to see if something like that is occurring, if you're planning on doing something for Fund 6 or 7 or whatever in the future. Again, make sure what you're putting out there is well laid out. And the next thing I would say is try to figure out a way for the community advisors, who will be the first ones looking at your proposal, to engage with them. And if they have questions about it up front, help answer those questions early on, because the community advisors, that determines your ranking in the actual voting app. So what we saw on the screen was the ranking based off yes and no votes, but in order to even vote on that, it's in the mobile app, and it's sorted based off of the community advisors rating of your project. And so they rate things of how feasible is this, how likely is it that the project team's going to be able to complete this, how well does this align with the actual fund that this is in, things of that nature. And so, it's basically up to a 5-star rating. If you have a 5-star rating, you're going to be pushed up to the top of the sorting order in that, in that fund, in that group. For me, I was in the developer ecosystem fund. There's like a DApp fund and some others. So the better you have your rating from the community advisors, better off you'll be, because people will get tired. They'll start voting. They'll say, yeah, I like that idea. Scroll down. They'll get through the first 10 or so, and they might flake out and not even bother to come back to the app, right? Possibly. And those that are most engaged are the ones who are going to be voting yes on the ones they really like and no's on the other ones, knowing that this is how the system works. It's the combination of yes votes minus no votes is what actually is going to make a difference. Because if you go through and just vote yes on everything, it's just as if you didn't vote, because like all of them can't be funded and it really doesn't matter, right? But having the community advisors giving you a good score is actually beneficial overall. And just being engaged in the community would be my suggestions for folks who are thinking about submitting to a proposal in a Project Catalyst fund, whether it's Fund 6 or something in the future. So even though my proposal did not get funded this time around, and even though I'm not really planning on submitting this again through Project Catalyst, that's okay. I think the Project Catalyst process is pretty awesome. I do like the way it is set up, and I think it's fantastic that Cardano Foundation is actually providing funds for these projects to be funded by the community that says, yes, I like this, no, I don't like that. Yeah, I like that one, I don't like that one. And as a result, in theory, the best stuff should go to the top, and those are things that get funded and have the best, likely chance of actually being successful, that somebody's going to actually follow through and get that project done. So with that, I'm just still real bullish on Cardano. I think it's fantastic, and in general, cryptocurrency, really bullish on that. There's this whole stuff going around in the U.S. Senate right now with this infrastructure bill. It's just way too much money. The government spends way too much money. I'm not a big fan of big companies. I'm not a big fan of big government. And so that's why I'm a fan of blockchain technology, cryptocurrency. And the stuff they're trying to put in this infrastructure bill to regulate crypto in such a devastating way for Americans is no good. Because, it's not going to hurt crypto. Crypto is going to survive. In fact, I imagine crypto is going to thrive. Because even at the moment, so Bitcoin's up. So with $45,900 at the moment. Cardano is 147. Ether's 3,130. So I think a couple weeks ago I did a video asking, hey, is now the right time to get into crypto? I asked that, right? Because I said, hey, it's 29,000 for Bitcoin. Now it could go lower, but 29,000 seems to be pretty, like a pretty good spot. Oh, here in 2 weeks, it has jumped up almost $16,000. So that's not bad. Now is now the time to get in? I don't know. It could keep climbing up to the all-time highs of 65,000. Maybe it gets up to the 100,000 people are talking about, or maybe it crashes back down to 20. Who knows, right? That's the whole thing. We don't know. But overall, the fundamentals of crypto, the fundamentals of blockchain technology is it's unchanged, and it's very bright. The future is very, very bright for crypto, for blockchain, and it could be that this whole talk of regulation and the way they're trying to do this is making the price soar, because people are seeing just how much needed this is and where this is going to be the future. They might be able to slow it down a little bit, but you're not going to be able to stop it. You're not going to be able to stop this. There's just no way in the world that any government, any entity is going to be able to stop this decentralized way of doing things, because how's commerce done? It's done because we assign value to something. Maybe you have to pay your taxes in some particular currency, and so be it. So that's the only thing that gives that currency a value anyway. It's because that's what the government that requires you to pay taxes, does. Taxes is a whole other thing. I pay my taxes. I've been audited. I don't know how many times. I say audited. It's not really been audited. I've been sent emails from the IRS multiple times asking me to send follow-up documentation on stuff. And so I guess there's just certain numbers they see and they don't think that it's legitimate. Of course, every single time I do it, and then they end up paying me the money they owed me with some interest or whatever. So it's just, I don't know. I do this every once in a while. So I'm all about giving the government the money that they require, even if I don't think they should require as much as they do, because they spend it inefficiently. But totally different topic. And this was all supposed to be about Cardano. But all that to say, bullish on crypto, and yeah, and I think hopefully the politicians will get their act together and actually listen to the people and stop trying to shove stuff through that either they don't know how it works or listening to wrong people talk about how things work. So either way, didn't really mean to get off on all that. But it is what it is. I'm still super bullish on crypto, still super bullish on Cardano. Unfortunately, my project itself did not get funded, but that's okay. Some really fantastic projects did get funded. So if you're interested in, seeing my project, this native token API for game devs to become a reality, let me know. Because as it stands right now, I'm going to just assume that somebody else is going to pick up this mantle. Because I know that's always why I ask for funding, because I know I would not be able to devote the time to it. It'll take multiple years to get it done because I'm trying to make an income, right? And I won't be able to devote the time needed. So, I'm not going to pursue that. And a lot of time, energy, and effort has been put in this since April, and so I'm just going to kind of leave it where it's at, unless there's an overwhelming response that this is what's desired, in which case I'll maybe try to do some sort of a crowdsourcing thing. But chances are that's not going to be the case, and that's perfectly fine. So with that, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'm going to have a fantastic day. My girls, they started the first day of school today. They homeschool, and so we're going out to celebrate lunch. We always, first day of school, we always go and celebrate lunch out, so I'll be doing that here in a little bit. But I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.